Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Deep Hopping. Today we're going to discuss about how to read and write a CSV file. In the last tutorial, we have discussed about how to handle a file using file handler. And today we're going to see how we can read or write CSV file using those file handler and what is the pros and cons for that one. There is an extra piece of code that you need to write if you wish to use file handler to read CSV file, which we're gonna see. But there is a built-in module that available in Python which you can import it and start using its method to parse out CSV information. But before we dive into the topic, let's first discuss about what is CSV file. A CSV file stands for comma separated value format file, which is the most common import and export format for spreadsheet and databases. And a CSV file is also a delimited text file that uses comma to separate value. So here I have created one example called test underscore CSV dot CSV file. And if you open it in a notepad, and you will see that each record is consist of one or more field which is separated by commas. The uses of the comma as a field separator is the source of the name of this file format called comma separated value. However, I have seen many instances instead of using comma, they use just have or colon or even semicolon to separate values of a CSV file, but they all belongs to the family of a CSV file. They all call it as CSV file. Let's take this example CSV file and try to read it like a file object, what we have done in the previous tutorial. So if you haven't watched that one yet, I would strongly encourage you to watch that one first, then resume it from here, or else I will try to give you the intuition whenever it's possible. So to read a file, we need to specify the keyword with and then use the built-in function called open, and this take many arguments, but there are two is very crucial. The first one is the file name. So here I'm passing the file name with the full extension, and here I'm using the R to specify the one which I'm passing is a string. And the next argument the open built-in function will take is the method which we want to perform on the CSV file, and in this case we want to read this file. So R, which stands for reading. Then we need to specify or we need to name this object open as CSV file, then colon, and here we can say print CSV file dot read. In that way we will read the entire content of the CSV file. So if I will just go ahead and run it, you will see we are getting everything whatever present in the CSV file, but it is unparsed as of now, because that means we get each line as a return from this object, but each of this line is not yet separated by comma. It's a long string. So we need to parse out this information if we wish to use the file handler. If we need to parse out this each information from each line by ourselves, so we need to write this code by ourselves only. So to do that, uh, first let's get rid of this read method from the file object, and try to read it like a iteratable object. This CSV file is an iteratable object. That means it's like a list or tuple or something which you can iterate over. And so what I'm going to do, so I will say for, so that means I can use for in for CSV file. So I will say for line in CSV file, and then let's first print what it will print. So if I will just go ahead and run it, you will see you will get the similar output, but as of right now we are getting one output from the first line. Read the first line, then move to the next line, then read the next line, then move forward, and it will do until it hits the rock bottom. And then I haven't told you yet, but you can parse out a long string with a split method. So each of this string variable has a various method which we can perform, and the one which we are looking for is called split, and this method will take one argument with which we want to That means I'm asking this Python to split this line string using comma. So if I will just go ahead and run it, you will see, let me maximize this one. You will see you get each line as a list, but right now the comma is being parsed out. So each element of the list is specified to the each value of the CSV file. Okay, but right now here we are seeing a nasty /n, which stands for the new line, and we can also get rid of this one by using another functionality or another method of the string variable, which again we haven't discussed it yet. It's called replace. Maybe I will create one more video to how to manipulate string variable, but as of now let me tell you, this replace will take two argument, which is the old one, which one you want to replace. We want to replace the /n with nothing. Now if I will just go ahead and run it, you will get a very clean and nice way of list, where each item of the list specified to the each value of the CSV file. Okay, the last item before we move to our next agenda, which is reading and writing CSV file using built-in CSV module of Python. I would like to tell you, if you wish to get rid of this first line, which stands for the header of a CSV file or a table, you can do that using two methods or two ways. Let me go back to the Python file here. And as I told you, this CSV file is a iterator. That means you can iterate over it. And there is a functionality, there is a built-in function called next, which will take iterators like CSV file object or even list object and move to the next line. So if I will pass the object, the iteratable object, which is CSV file in this case, and try to run it, now you will see the only difference between the above output and the current output is there is the first line, which is the header file, is missing because we have used the next built-in function and then we pass this CSV file as an argument, and that's why it moved to the next line. We can also use another method, and this is the method of the file object, which is next, and this will also perform the similar operation. So let me comment the first line, and then so if I will just go ahead and run it, you will see you will get exactly the same similar output what you have got by using next built-in function. So if you do not wish to write all this code by yourself, so there is an alternative thing available in the Python, which is the built-in CSV module, which we need to import it by import functionality, by using import functionality, and the name of the module is CSV. So import CSV, and this module implement classes to read and write tabular data in the CSV format. And this CSV module has many methods, and especially there are two methods, which is CSV reader and writer. An object of this method is actually what we're going to do to read and write sequences, so which we will see in a minute. For this we need to get rid of everything till here, and here what I can do, I will use this CSV module dot, and then I will grab the method reader, 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 and this will again take many arguments, but the one which very crucial, which is the CSV file, the file object name. And in case right now we are using CSV file which is separated by comma, but in case if it is separated by any other symbols, then you need to specify it using delimiter meter, and here we can specify the one which we are wish to, which we are seeing in the CSV file. So as of now it's a comma, so I will specify comma. By default it is comma, so even if I don't use it, it will still work fine. So in case if you have other symbols like colon or pipe, you need to specify here as a delimiter. Then what it will do, this CSV reader will return an object which iterate over the line in the given CSV file. So we need to name this object of this method, reader method, and let's call it as CSV underscore reader. And if I will just grab this object, and I can also iterate over it, so using next thing, underscore underscore next underscore underscore. And just to show you uh, how it works, print, and here I can say CSV reader underscore, and then I will specify line underscore num. Num. And it, sorry, we don't, it can't. So if I will just go ahead and run it, you will see right now it's showing 1. That means when it is a, first of all, it's a iteratable object. That's why we could able to use the next item here. And this particular func method of the CSV reader object will return which line this is we are reading at. So if I will just use one more next here and try to run it again, it should return 2. So hopefully you got the intuition what it does. Okay, so it's just like the CSV file, but it's much more cleaner and nicer. So which we will see how you can read the information actually. So for that I need to get rid of everything till here. Let me keep the CSV reader file, and again we need to iterate over it. So what we're gonna do, I will say for line in CSV reader, and here I will specify colon, and here first let's say print line. And if I will just go ahead and run it, you will see you get each line as a list, and each value of the list is correspond to the value of the CSV file. And again, if you do not wish to see the outcome, the header outcome, you can always specify this next method here. So here also you can specify reader underscore dot underscore underscore next underscore underscore. Okay, in that way you will ignore the first reader line and then move to the first header line and move to the next items of the CSV file. So you can iterate over the CSV reader file. Also you can iterate over this one, CSV file object, which is, so it's the same thing only, right? So it will do the same thing only. So if I will just get rid of this one, it will also do the similar action. Okay, so the next thing is that we can also grab a particular item of the each of the lines. So as this line is returning a list, so if we wish to see the email ID, which is the index number 2, I can specify here using in line 2, and if I will run it, you will see you will get only the email ID of this CSV file. And if we wish to get this email ID as a list, we need to specify, we need to do following things: email ID, and here we will declare a list, and we will take this email ID here, and instead of print we can say email ID dot append, and then it will append each time when we iterate over this CSV reader object. It will grab the email ID and append it into the email ID list. And then finally here we can say print email ID. And if I will just go ahead and run it, oops, there is some error, there's too many E. Okay, if, oops, there is email ID also, there's a problem. Email ID, let me copy and paste it here so that it will not throw me an error. Now if I will just go ahead and run it, you will see you got the list of email ID as an output. So in that way you can grab any column of the CSV file. Okay, that's all about how you can read a file, read a CSV file. Also, if you wish to read the CSV file, but not as a list but as a dictionary, you can use that. You can do that by using another method of the a CSV module called read, that means dictionary read. So here I will say dict, then say read. Yes, it's a capital one. Reader. Then here, if I will now, no, first let's print it only. Okay, and let me get rid of email IDs. And here, what I'm gonna say. Oops, sorry, we need to keep the for because it's iterator, right? We need to keep the for. So for this one, let me print each line. Print line. Now, if I will just go ahead and run it, you will see you get each of the line as a dictionary, and this one is an order dictionary. And the contrast of dictionary where order doesn't matter, and this dictionary, this order dictionary, order matters. And right now we do not need to move to the next line, okay? Because by default it will just ignore the first line and move to the next. It actually print from the second line onward. So if you see, it returns the first name and RAM. So this dictionary has attributes, which is the first item, the key item, and the second item is the value. So you can grab the line key keys. Then if I will just go ahead and run it, you will get the list of keys, and similarly here you can also specify values, and then you will get the values of each of the line. You know, it's that easy. The last item of today's tutorial is how to write a CSV file using CSV module. And for that, instead of reader, we can specify writer method. Writer. And here, instead of name CSV underscore reader to this object, we can say CSV underscore writer. And then here we can grab CSV underscore writer object name, then a dot. I will use dot operator. Then here I will grab one method called write rows. Write row as in singular. Then this will expect a list as an input, and here I can specify the this list which we have created earlier. And then instead of read method, we need to specify W, which stands for write. And then again, we need to change it to CSV test underscore CSV1, just to avoid the replacing of the file which we have created. Now, if I will just go ahead and run it, it executed. And if I will move to the directory where I have specified that this test underscore CSV1 and open it, you will see it actually has all the item which we have passed as a list to this write row method of the CSV writer object. And there is another method which is called write rows as in plural, and as you can guess it, it takes list of list and then paste it or write it in the CSV. It is very much similar to the write rows. Write row is in singular, but that is if you wish to write everything at one go. I will not perform that method as of now, and I will let you to try it by yourself. And it is very much intuitive, and please do let me know if you find any difficulty in that method or in any of the things which you have discussed so far. Uh, as usual, thanks for watching. Thanks for all your likes and subscription. Until next time. Cheers.